friends, welcome to Moms and Money, where we talk about managing money, making money, and saving money for the women in the household. Today, my friends, we were talking about jump-starting our sinking funds savings, okay, during quarantine. I'm talking about these expenses that have pretty much been eliminated from our budget because of this pandemic, because we're all at home. And I'm just pointing them out because maybe this will be a great way for you to get started in saving for your sinking funds. So first, let me explain what a sinking fund is. Maybe you're new to my channel or you're just new to budgeting altogether. And basically, sinking funds are just mini savings amounts that you save for short-term savings. They're like little goals. So for instance, vacation fund is a sinking fund, or maybe you're saving to fix up your backyard. That could be a backyard sinking fund. Just a little short-term savings for anything, you know, whether you want to work on your house or you want to go on vacation. An emergency fund is a type of sinking fund. They're just short-term savings. They're not meant to be, you know, long-term savings or you're saving for a long period of time. So basically, you need sinking funds in order to make sure that you stay on budget all the time, because emergencies pop up all the time. Or if you do have an expected expense, like for instance, let's say maybe your washer and dryer are starting to go out, you know, and you know that it's coming, but you're just hanging on to that last leg. Well, you can start a sinking fund for your replacement of your washer and dryer. You know that that expense is coming, so you're gonna save for it until you get the right amount, or until the washer and dryer just go kaput. You'll have at least something saved to replace it. So basically, that is what a sinking fund is. I did a whole video about sinking funds and how you can use your these printables that I sell in my shop. The link is in the description box to track them, and you can tap this eye right here to watch it. Now, I personally do track all of my sinking funds in Excel in my zero-based budget spreadsheet and template. You can download it for free down in the description box if you're more of an Excel person, but I do sell my budgeting sheets in my shop. Lots of different sheets, from emergency fund tracking your annual budget, budget by paycheck, monthly budgeting, and all of that. And I did a whole video about how to use the printables, the different sheets that come in with the budgeting printables, and you can tap this eye right here to watch it. Now, I also wanted to mention about my cash envelopes, that you can also use the cash envelopes to track your sinking funds. So what you would do is you would take the cash out of your account. When you're ready to start depositing money towards a sinking fund, you would take the cash out of your account and put them in your cash envelope, and then you can use this budget sheet that comes with all of my cash envelopes to write down the date that you put it in, your category, maybe your beginning balance or the goal, how much you want to save for this sinking fund. Maybe it's $200, maybe it's $300, whatever it is. Even if it's just like $5 here, $10 here, you can easily just start tracking, or just keeping it in case you don't want to track it just by paper and leave the money in a savings account. Or you could do it in Excel and leave the money in a savings account. If you're one of those people who don't want the temptation of having that money in your account, you can take it out of your account and just put it in your cash envelopes and keep it safe in your house, and you'll be good to go. A link for my cash envelopes will be in the description box. So the point of today's video is, maybe there are a couple of expenses that we no longer have, or they're not as expensive because we're all quarantined and we're all home right now. So for example, the first one that I'm going to talk about is gas for your car. I mean, clearly we're not going that nearly as many places as we used to go. And for me and my family personally, I budget around $350 a month for gas, because we live in Georgia, in the metro Atlanta area, and listen, girl, we drive everywhere. But since we've been home, okay, so that's $350 a month we used to use for gas. Since we've been home, we've spent about $75 on gas. That's to fill my tank up and my husband's tank up, because actually the price of gas has gone down because, of course, the old law of supply and demand, it went down. And so if you take that difference of $275 and multiply it by 3 months, that's a total of $825. Do you see how that happened? And that $825 can go towards one of your sinking funds. So I'm just going to start writing this here. I'm going to write in pencil first because I'm not sure. My daughter's pencil. I'm not sure what sinking fund we're gonna put this in yet. So I'm gonna write it over here on the back of this sheet so that we'll know how much money we have to work with and how much money to allocate. Now, again, you'll have to go through your own numbers to see if this is the case for you, because maybe you don't want to take the money and put it towards a sinking fund. Maybe you want to take it and put it towards paying off some consumer debt, which is absolutely fine. You know, that's something that you definitely want to do in the first place, is you want to make sure that your consumer debt is paid. But so I'm going to put here, gas is $8.25. So the other expense that you probably don't have at this point is lunch. Now I'm gonna go on the national average, the US average for how much people spend at lunch when they're eating out at lunch at work. On average, the average person spends about $66 per week eating out for lunch at work. And if you multiply that by 4 weeks, that's $264 a month. And $264 a month times 3 months, which is how long we're all quarantined, is $792. Now, this isn't the reality for me because my husband and I both work from home. But when I was working outside of the home, you know, lunch can sometimes be an issue, and that comes up a lot, especially if you don't plan your meals and you don't meal prep or don't make your lunch or bring your lunch from home. It's a problem and it adds up really, really quick. But the national average is $66 a month, so you don't have that expense now. Of course, we're spending a little bit more on groceries, but still, to not have that expense is amazing. So the next one is gym memberships. Now the gyms are closed. I believe they're just now reopening here in Georgia, but with gym memberships at $30 a month, okay, that's $360 a year, okay, that you're spending in gym membership. But for the 3 months that most gyms are closed, that is $90, right? So again, that's an expense you got to think about, because hopefully you've either canceled your gym membership by now or postponed it, because obviously we haven't been using it. So that's money that you should be able to recoup. Now, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is car insurance. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but when I was doing research, I realized that some insurance companies are issuing refunds or credits because most people we had to stay home. We had no choice. We weren't driving our cars like that. Now, I'm not saying for you to cancel your car insurance, absolutely not. But because most of us have stayed home way more than we have in the past, we're not driving to work every day. On average, car insurance costs about $1,548 per year, or $774 every 6 months. Some car insurance agencies are giving a 15% credit on a 6-month policy, okay? So that'll save you $116. Which is amazing, okay? And that averages out to about $57 for the 3 months. Now let's add this up. Let's see. Y'all, look at how much money this is. Now, again, it's gonna be different for you, but still. Now, what I'm gonna do with this information is I'm gonna take it here on my sinking fund sheet. Again, this is part of my printables. The link is in the description box. And I'm going to allocate how much I'm gonna, now for me personally, if this was mine, I would put some in an emergency fund, and I would probably put the rest, for us personally, it's our yard fund, because we wanna do some projects in our yard. So what I would do here, I would fill this out and put emergency fund, okay? And then you'd put your beginning balances, and I'd probably put 1,000 in my emergency fund. We wouldn't take anything out, and then you add your beginning balance plus your input, and that's gonna be your ending balance. Then the rest of the $764 yard fund, I have 0 in the beginning balance. I'm inputting $764, nothing on the output. So that gives me a total of $764 for my yard fund. Now, how I would use these printables is monthly. So every month, if there was a change, if you needed to take something out of your emergency fund, or you needed to, you know, take something out of any of your sinking funds, because you would want to list them all here, you would track it by month. You know, so you look in your bank account, okay, I took this much out. So of course you'd put the output out, and then you'd have a running ending balance every month for your sinking funds. And you can print this out as many times as you want once you download it, you know, and that's a great way to put it on paper, exactly how much you have in your sinking funds. And of course you could put a grand total down here. This is a great way to really look at your budget and find these expenses, because these are hidden. They'll be hidden if you're not on top of your zero-based budget. Maybe you didn't sit down and create create an emergency budget right now because, you know, so many things have changed, and, you know, maybe your salary changed or your hours changed or whatever, and you did not sit down and make an emergency budget. Now is the time to do that. I actually did a video on how to do that. You can tap this eye right here. But otherwise, it's important to stay on top of your zero-based budget so you can find these hidden expenses, this free money floating around, so that you can allocate it to what you want it to do. Remember, the point of a zero-based budget is that every single penny has a name. So there should never be any like random money sitting in your account without you knowing what it's for or what its job is, or not allocating it towards something. So especially those lunch expenses, if you're not spending money on lunch right now, you know, that's money that's sitting in your account, but that money needs to have a job and it needs to be allocated towards something. That's the overall goal. So you definitely want to sit down, look at your zero-based budget, see if there's anything that you're missing, any changes. Of course, all of our habits have changed at this point because our lives have changed. So if our lives have changed and our habits have changed like that, most certainly you can guarantee that your money has changed as well. So you want to go in there and make sure that you have accounted for everything, everything's allocated, create a plan for yourself, especially if you are facing unemployment or if you got laid off or if you're going to get laid off or anything like that. Try to approach it proactively instead of reactively. And I know that's easier said than done. And again, I'm praying for all of us during this time. I know that things will get better. I'm in the midst of posting videos about how to find a new job, how to update your resume. You know, I did a whole side hustle challenge, how to create a side hustle that makes extra money, all of that. The links will be in the description box, or you can look on my channel to see all the different videos I've done on that. But just stay positive, y'all. And this is a great thing if you can find this money. This is an amazing thing. So just stay positive. I know that we're gonna get through this. So leave a comment down below and let me know, have you had any surprises like this where, you know, you're not spending money on something and now you can put that money towards something else? Another thing that I just thought of is my kids with gymnastics. They have not been we canceled gymnastics because we can't physically go and take the gymnastics lessons. So that's another, let's see, for us, I think it was $177 a month. That's $531. Okay, that I will allocate towards something else. So that's really, really, really nice. Okay, kids activities, it's another big one, or activities that you were in, or any extracurricular activities or anything like that. You know, we're all home right now. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you found anything like that while you were doing your budgeting, when you did your emergency budget, if you found anything, and leave a comment down below and share, because maybe it's something that we overlooked. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can tap my picture on the screen, and you can also check out my previous video right next to it, and all of my social media platforms all listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.